What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Invaders podcast, episode 427. All of us are back. I'm not a dead body this week. I'm like mildly dead body, but not quite in the state that I was last week. So I guess we can actually clap for that. I'm Chad, guys. And joined, as always, we have Mr. Brad from Canada.
Well, hello, friend. You have a right to be a dead body and a resurrected corpse because you have been so damn busy, man. But
And it is Easter weekend coming up.
and thank you for making the time to do this because it's always the best when all four of us are here.
Well, like I told you guys last week after the show, that was the first sense of normalcy I'd had for like a week. And it felt so good to sit here and just talk with you guys and like have a normal ass fucking like night. I was like, yes, this is what I needed for real. So yeah, always good. Mr. Carly. My God,
Mr.
Oh,
is there something?
maybe I am a dead body. I don't know.
Know.
The night is young. We don't know.
Anyways, yeah, I'm glad to be back to talk with you guys and talk about movies, whatever. The fuck.
Okay, so now I gotta fuck it up, Mrs. Coach.
Mrs. There you go,
Mr. Coach.
Mrs. Nasty.
Yeah, some side of some political party is very angry right now.
Okay, right, yeah, somewhere for real.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about good stuff, fun, and movies and all that such.
Yes, indeed. So we are going to, of course, talk about last week. I think we alluded to the fact that we were just going to make our special topic the whole entire episode, but a movie happened to come out this week that absolutely demands that those of us that saw it be discussed. So we are on our normal format tonight. So we're going to talk about what we watched this week, and we're going to move into a special topic at the end of the show. So definitely stick around for that. And I am going to be the one getting us started tonight. I saw a couple of new things this week. The first of those being Drop, directed by Christopher Landon and starring, let's see who this stars, guys. Megan Fahey and Brandon Sklenar. This is a new Blumhouse thriller. If you've been to the movies recently, I'm going to imagine you've probably seen the trailer because it seems to have been everywhere. Blumhouse markets the fuck out of their movies. And this is the story of a widow who is getting back in the dating pool for the first time, is meeting a man she's been talking to online for a while at a very fancy restaurant, like in the top of a building. And after she arrives at this date, she is suddenly contacted via an airdrop, an Apple airdrop type thing, where she starts receiving memes, and she's suddenly tasked with having to kill the man that she is on a date with. Okay. So I'm a fan of Christopher Landon. I liked Happy Death Day. I liked Happy Death Day 2. Freaky, I thought was very fun. He's very much played in this like horror with a very comic edge genre so far.
A bit of a lighter edge to it, so you're not sitting there just like clenching your fist the entire time.
Yeah, I always think of them as like starter horror movies, kind of like things that like teens would have a really good time with. It's not too much, not too scary, but still really fun. And I've enjoyed everything he's made so far.
Dave, you could watch these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to extend that enjoyment to Drop. I thought this was really, really fun.
Good.
It is silly.
Is it more than the trailer?
I was about to say,
It's not.
I wish I had never seen that trailer because I really feel like I've watched most of the movie, but
I do like
the director.
Yeah, we can bitch about Blumhouse and their marketing and how they've done whatever it is the fuck to like say that more people will go see their movie if everything's spelled out in the trailer. And I mean, there are a couple of surprises. There is like a whodunit aspect to this because it's a mystery. Like, who is doing this? Who's in the restaurant that is like sending her all this information? Is it her date? Is it another diner? Is it an employee? Like, and you get tons of like people to think about, red herrings, all that kind of stuff. But I just think it's pretty stylishly handled. It's silly as fuck. Last year, I bitched up and down a storm about Trap because that shit is so fucking unbelievable and so ridiculous and so stupid that by the time it was over, I was mad.
I don't know. It was the most viewed video on our channel.
Yeah, true. And that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe you should bitch a little more.
Okay, right. Yeah, right. But like, I could see the same complaints that I had about Trap being lobbed at this in a way. because I mean, you have to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
There's nothing terribly believable about much of it, but what happened here was just so much more fun to me because I think it knows what it is. Trap, I think Trap thought it was more than it was.
Trap
Whereas
wanted
this movie
to be very
knows what
deep.
it is.
Trap wanted to be very deep, and let's not even lie. Okay, I do enjoy M. Night Shyamalan, and he used this as a vehicle to showcase his daughter.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
And I'm sorry, that's a shallow trap.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Drop just sort of knows, and Christopher Landon knows this is just sort of like silly late night cable trash, kind of, and it plays it that way. And I found it. I mean, I thought the reveal of like what's actually going on and who's behind all of this was a little bit of a letdown, but I thought the ride of it all was just so much fun and just so like crazy. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this restaurant is wild for one. This date is wild for two.
It looked like a really, really crazy restaurant. And as far as someone that's just getting back out there in the scene, you're putting a pretty high bar.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there is like a subplot. I don't know if it's a subplot necessarily, but like she has a little bit of a history and like why she's a widow, and that kind of comes to play like a part in all of this and all of that. But I thought this was a perfectly entertaining time at the movies. This is not like cinema, I wouldn't say, but it's fun, man. Like I think that this is like the perfect like go on a Friday night and like kind of watch it maybe in a sort of packed rowdy theater, and it's just like that kind of a silly good time. So Drop is a definite. I think this would be a buy for me. I could see this being kind of a comfort watch and something I just throw on like when I need something kind of mindless and fun and just some cheap cheerful thrills. Basically,
love hearing that.
All right, and then the next movie, and this is what prompted us to have to do what we watched this week, guys.
Oof.
Everyone saw it before me. Well, Carly did not see it, but the boys saw it before I did, and this was on my radar in a really major way, so I had to see it ASAP. And that is Warfare. This is co-written and co-directed by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza, and this is an Iraq War film that
Wow.
it's
I know. Wow. Like,
yeah, it's an uncommon movie. There's not really a narrative to this film. You're sort of dropped in with a troop of guys who are on a mission for a small amount of time and then pulled out of it. So you're just kind of there almost in a real-time sense.
It's an extraction emergency.
Yes.
With, my God. You know, I don't even really know how to describe this because they're like
you're on
no
the end
narrative
of a mission, and then there are two platoons or two different troops.
Yes.
And they are trying to pretty much what you're saying is get extracted or leave the area they are. And in cover of night. Well, in cover of night, they basically found a stopping point. Is where we're just dropped into it.
Yeah, they found a place in which where they're to set up. We don't even really know their original mission,
right?
Which I think is key.
Yeah, I think so too.
I love that. Agree. You could take it that it's someone's going to get sniped, someone's going to get taken, someone is going to be observed. Yes, taken. I know.
Okay, right.
Nobody's running weird, especially those two guys. But yeah, and then it sounds so easy to say mayhem ensues, but that denigrates it so much to the point that when mayhem actually does ensue, it is so masterfully set up to the point that you're actually enjoying yourself in a war-torn thing with the camaraderie, with what is set up at the beginning. Dave, again, I forget that song. That the both platoons
right at the beginning
watching an exercise video. In kind of reminds me of the Cindy Crawford exercise video days.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to scroll through our chat, and I think
was
it just you and I when we talked about it?
Yeah, because I didn't want to talk because I knew Carly hadn't seen it and
Right.
such, and I don't think Chad had seen it, but
Not yet.
it is.
Sorry, go ahead. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, just interrupt me when you can. Okay, like seriously, seriously, yell it out because it's such a key point that just shows both platoons just together. Just these are like brothers in arms, and then it just when mayhem ensues, excuse me, I jumped.
Oh yes,
and audibly gasped. I wouldn't say gasp, more of like, ah! Like because it scared the hell out of me.
Well, the film kind of lulls you into this, like it's
That's
kind
what
of
I
mundane
loved.
for a little while, and you're just
so
sort of
much
like
about
kind
that.
of bored with them. I was never bored during this, but like you're seeing like how tedious some of these missions can be, and like how the waiting is just a fact of the matter in war and war scenarios. And you guys like get lulled into this thing, and then when things pop off, they really go. And like I felt the tension coming. Like you could tell something was going to happen. You just didn't know exactly how
You
or
didn't
when.
know when or how. And the trailer shows that okay, there's some gunplay, there's some stakes going on, but you didn't know when. And I would say that when they did it, it was the biggest surprise of the movie is when it actually happened.
Yeah,
because
you don't see it
I
coming.
was so chilling out. I wasn't falling asleep or anything because I was just enthralled by just the camaraderie between all the soldiers.
It's just fascinating to see. Like you feel like you're there with them. It felt very real and realistic.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah,
I give Garland a lot of credit because I think everybody, if we didn't see Civil War, I don't know if this movie works as well.
True.
Because he almost preps us for us. And the thing that everybody was, bitching about Civil War was, oh, it doesn't take a side. It just, just shows what it is. And it doesn't
I would
say
argue this does the same.
And this does the same. The whole thing, and there is someone that gets hurt, and his screaming throughout the entire thing.
Oh my god,
is haunting.
Oh my god.
I can still hear
it. And some of these actors, I mean, like they're fairly known. It's funny. The one guy is the main lead from Reservoir Dogs. Reservation Dogs.
Let's say Reservation.
Not Reservoir. Reservation. Sorry.
Quentin Tarantino.
You got Will Poulter. You got Joseph Quinn, who is peaked to be the next Marvel everything superstar.
Yeah.
The way everything goes down
Cooper
is
Hoffman.
just.
I was so happy to see him in that.
Oh, he was great.
He was so good in it. Everybody, you know what? Yeah, I want to sit back and say, like, this was my favorite person. This is my favorite part. But I say in a whole, the entirety. And after seeing it, I was sweating.
Oh,
like
my balls.
I was sweating. My forearms were hurting because I was clenching my seat so much. And I don't know if this a testament to the film. I left just drained, tired, sad, exhilarated. And I sat in my car, and then I looked up when went the next showing, and it was in 10 minutes, and I bought another ticket, and I went and I watched it again. And I never, ever, ever do that.
See, I think this is the movie that I think we all saw the wrong way, whereas this should be a movie and a coffee, or a movie and a beer, or a movie and a slice of pie type of movie. There should be a discussion afterwards and everything like that, because like I always say, when movies are at their best, there's two different ways they make you feel. Is they make you look inward on how you feel about a situation, or wants to make you better, make you worse, or intrigued, or it just takes you out of your own life completely, where you cannot even think anything. And I think this is the second of the two where
absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not, I mean, like, I'm not worried about what bill I have to pay. I'm not worried about, well, I put clothes in the dryer, but did I hit start? Like,
you're just truly lost.
You're just there.
Yeah.
I will say, after it ended, there is something that they did that took me out of it.
I kind of agree with that for sure.
Ditto.
But it didn't take away from the movie for me, but I see what you're saying with
it humanized, like, and I don't mean that as a bad thing, but in this context, it wasn't the best thing.
Yeah.
No, and I didn't
And
care.
the
I
about
think we
fact
already
that-
got the
mission.
realism of it.
And
we
this
didn't
isn't a spoiler. This is there
I
there
don't
are
think they're
some
real spoilers for this. in my
yeah,
opinion.
at the end of this, Carly, there is they showed the actors, and then they showed pictures of the actual army guys.
Okay. Mhm.
And they were not
And-
playing when they tried to seriously at least match the looks of these people.
Oh my
Well,
God, they
wasn't
nailed
one
it.
of them? Isn't one of them actually one of the
Yes,
people?
is one
Okay,
of them
that's
in
what I
there.
thought. Okay.
Well, and the
Yeah.
guy who co-wrote it, basically the whole thing was put together by memory
Mhm.
of all these different guys, and
Mhm.
just like they put together the narrative from all their memories.
And then this happened, and then that happened. So it was
Yeah.
kind of a gang right kind of
But they had this
situation.
kind of group picture at the end, and
Mm.
shaking hands, and everybody's laughing and smiling, and it just it's as the credits come type of thing, and it took me out of it where it
Yeah,
was
I feel
at
that.
that point I started thinking, well, what was their mission? What were they
Yeah.
trying to
Right.
accomplish?
Well,
Sure.
that was a two-phase thing for me. One, it was, oh, okay, this is fiction. But the other one is like, no, this
No,
wasn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
This
For sure.
really was not fiction. And yeah, maybe the smiles and I've said it a few times already, camaraderie, even between the actors and the true life players, it seemed too light. And I
Yeah.
didn't need a happy ending, which there wasn't a happy
No,
ending.
yeah.
There
No.
wasn't a grand ending or a bad ending, but there was an ending,
Yeah.
which I think movies really have to kind of lean into more now.
I thought
You
it was
don't need-
I thought the ending was smart.
You just
I really
need
did.
an
Yes.
ending. Just end it. It does
Yes.
not have to. You don't have to tie everything up at the end. You don't have to do so much fan service that, oh well, the dog made its way home, and
Sure.
you don't have to do that to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, I
Mhm.
thought the ending here almost felt like kind of like what even just happened? What was this all about? And there was this sort of like confusion aspect to it that I thought worked really well because I think that is war. I mean, I'm not
Yes.
military. I don't go to war. I don't fight like these guys fight.
No.
But I think that probably is very much a reality of having to fight like this. And like, you're like, what are we even doing here? What's happening? What just happened? Because it was also such a like adrenaline pumping, a shit show. Like
Mhm.
things are falling apart, things are going to hell all around you in such a way that like it's affecting your mental health. And I mean, you see that in this movie too, that people are they struggle with their mental health through this process because it is so intense and so crazy, and it doesn't feel sensationalized to me. Like it feels again, I'm not in the military, but it felt so fucking realistic. Like this has to be like what people feel during these moments and on these missions and fighting for our freedoms. And
and that's what I kind of get the tacked on credit thing, because it is giving the real people their due.
sure,
Of course, give them their
if
flowers.
this was a movie that was going to eventually come out on DVD and have that, yeah, there's going to be a making of, there's going to be a salute to those guys and all that. So maybe that doesn't make it in, but the way the movies are presented, I understand giving those people that were involved their just due.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I thought Garland was going on a hiatus.
Yeah, exactly. After Civil War.
After Civil War.
But thank God for
apparently-
this.
I am so glad he did not.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's right in like the top 3 so far for the year. I wonder how I'm going to feel about this in a couple months.
Yeah. I wonder about that.
I'm going to revisit this in about 6 months.
Yeah, and
Because
I think
as much as I wanted to go see it again, this is going to sound silly. I never have to see this movie ever again.
It's not
No,
entertaining.
that doesn't sound silly.
Like,
There are
no, it's
plenty
not
of movies that are
entertaining.
great that I really only
Yeah.
have to watch one time.
It's hard
And
to recommend for that purpose alone because it's not a fun experience at the movies by any
no,
means. I don't think.
no, but it's
It's hard.
heavy and it's meaningful. And my goodness, I've never ever realized what the terminology "a show of force"
Mhm.
was until they did it. And because when they did it, you felt it.
Yeah.
Like, God, it was,
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
this is top 3
Yeah,
for
and
movies I've
it,
seen
it,
so far. Yeah, and I don't want to say recency bias just because this was so damn good.
I've been waiting for like something really great to grab me so far this year, and so far like nothing really has. There've been great movies. I love Black Bag, but this is for me by far and away the best film so far for me this year.
right.
I loved this, and
Yeah.
again, it is hard to recommend. It's kind of hard to say that in a weird way too, because there is no character development and things that I would kind of bitch about sometimes in film, but this is just not that type of film.
You didn't need it.
Yeah, this is not your regular like narrative type structure,
Like,
or
You were able to suss it out just by the first 6 minutes of the movie.
yeah,
like I don't want to say there's not a story because there is, but it's not like
it's not a traditional.
It's not
narrative.
like Platoon where like we have an idea of the narrative and then we put that narrative along with, the Vietnam. I think by just trying to be as honest and true as they are, I think there is a story that just doesn't get told, and that's okay because of the way they presented it.
Sure.
It's kind of it is halfway between a documentary and a feature.
Yeah.
And I will say, like for some, this could be a trigger warning type movie, like for people who maybe are in the military, who have served, who have fought. This could be potentially a really hard watch, I would think. But you know who you are if like that's the kind of thing. Like if it gets too real, it might be too much.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't, or you like war type films, man, this is, I mean, one of the better ones I can think of, at least like
if you
recently
just,
for sure.
If you just like something that's not like anything else.
Yeah.
I
and it's 90 minutes, guys. So it's
can't not recommend this to anybody. Just go watch.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
It's not going to change how you feel about anything, but it's going to change how you watch things.
Yeah. It's a hell of a movie, guys. For sure. So Warfare, I would have a hard time saying this is a buy, but for the pure artistic merit of it, and I don't want to pretend like this is some like arty party film, because maybe it has like sensibilities of that a little bit, but it's not that.
I would say it's a must see. If you have to buy it to see it, buy it. If you have to borrow it to see it, borrow it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think you should see it if you are okay.
Just go watch it. Just go check it out. I don't care how you see it. Fucking watch it.
Yeah, real.
Everybody.
Big facts.
So we liked it.
Yeah, so we really liked it. It seems like all of us really liked it. So Carly, when you eventually watch it, we're going to be dying to know what you say about this. Do you even do you like war and like military type films?
It's funny that you asked me that, because that's probably one of my least favorite genres.
Okay.
And only because especially if it's based on a true story or like, conflict, something that really happened, like real soldiers, it really fucks with me. Like, and
this
I've
might
never been
really
in the military, but I'm too empathetic. I'm like, oh my God, this really happened to these people. I feel terrible.
Well, you're human.
And this one really pushes those buttons in a major way. Like by the end of it, you might be like, oh God.
I will watch them, but they're definitely probably one of my least favorite genres, just because of that. It just makes me sad.
Gotcha. Makes sense for sure.
Totally.
All right. But yeah, Warfare, guys, see it for real.
All right. So I guess with all the heaviness, now we're going to talk about a delightful cartoon Dave and I watched.
It feels right, man.
Yeah.
Isn't that about death too?
Yeah, it is
A lighter
actually.
form of death.
Yes,
but-
yes.
Yeah,
It's animated.
animated death is always less. I watched episode 2 of Lazarus, the anime that Dave and I touted last week about the thrown together crew of people attempting to find the doctor who created a miracle painkiller that will eventually kill everybody who took it. And this episode kind of laid out that our favorite, jailbreaker, parkour, super ninja expert was not the only ne'er-do-well that is put on the team. It seems the entire team is put up of criminals and outlaws, and they are all tasked with their... See, I always have trouble saying this now, Carly. Particular set of skills. Really run weird.
Don't edit that out, Brad.
No, I'm not editing anything out.
No, that's our universal sign for it. Edit here.
Yes, no, that's going in. But yeah, and they all get the, quasi anime dog collars, which is a wristband to keep them all on the right track to find this doctor who has sentenced 75% of the population to death.
Okay. That's pretty heavy. Fuck.
Yeah, for no real reason, or maybe that's the reason we're following these people. But it's kind of this one felt like getting the band back together, even though they haven't been together. Highlighting a few people's certain talents to find this doctor, and I really enjoyed this episode, and because anime has this thing where they have a very strong start and it peters off really quick, only because there's a lot of sensationalism, a lot of silly tropes, and the tropes were present here. But one thing that I enjoyed is they made references of what you would think they would make references to as far as real world stuff. If you were put in this situation, they said, okay, we need all you guys to save the world. And the one guy looks at me and says, so we're like superheroes. We're like the fucking Avengers. And that just, I was like, you know what? Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting for someone to say it, but nobody said it. And they continued that narrative through the entire show of the DEA, the FBI, everyone showing up. There is some really fun action, and the animation is solid. There's a cat that runs away a few times. It's fun to see. But yeah, like I said, normally with anime, unless I'm just really invested, I'll drop off. But I think this one is keeping me at least very intrigued. So, Dave, what did you hate about it?
No, I actually...
I'm kidding.
I am giving it more leeway than I would a normal cartoon. Because of listen, I trust the creators. Like this was more of we have the group together, let's see what they can do together. The first episode was this person has this skill, this person has this skill. Wow. And then like, what happens when we put them together? Does everything work? Does everything not work? Like it's that kind of it's a usual trope, but I'm okay with it. So it's like, okay, like this is your episode to show me like, okay, we need this one to get to the next thing. And I want to see them really up the ante for the next one.
Yeah, they had the typical odd couple kind of pairing.
Right.
But everybody has, God, Carly, their own particular set of skills that that gel enough that it's not typical.
Right.
Okay.
It's not annoying. It's not aggravating. It's like, oh, this guy knows kung fu. Well, this is a computer expert. Well, this is espionage. This one knows sex. it's not like the freaking Pulp Fiction Fox Force 5 kind of thing, So it was just,
Ketchup?
I don't know. It's normally there's one criminal like pulled into the fold, and this is several criminals, and they're not bad guys. They're just guys that done bad things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anti-hero.
But yeah, Adult Swim, and I'm here for it. It's I'm old, and I don't like staying up till past midnight, but I have been.
Okay.
It shows up the next day, right before Last of Us on Max. So.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah,
I don't get Max.
Canada, guys.
I know.
Shut okay, up.
Everyone, in case you're new here,
I don't pay for it.
Everyone, shut up.
Alrighty, Brad. Did you have anything else you saw, or?
No. Well, you and I watched the Last of Us. Speaking of, but we're not going to talk about it here.
We did a little video on it.
You can
check out the
look at the video that Dave and I did separately from this one. And thanks to everybody that has watched it, and thanks for everyone that's commented on it.
Well, maybe not everybody.
That one dude.
I'm going to comment on it now.
I understand. where he's coming from.
It's funny. I just hear because I have watched some other ones, and it's the same. Yes, I get it. Yes, you don't think Bella Ramsey's attractive. She doesn't have to be attractive, but in the game they were attractive. I don't care.
Well, in the game, she's a handful of pixels.
Yes,
perfected to whatever narrative the creator wants. So guess what? She's not real.
Right. Yeah, I don't really care what she looks like, but I got to be honest. I haven't seen any part of any of freaking season 2, but season 1. I don't know. She just didn't seem like Ellie to me, but that's just my opinion.
Okay.
So I would say that
in her personality,
that the new character of Dina, who is, yes, Brad, I know, an old character from the first one as well.
Stop it. Okay. Stop. I wasn't paying attention that hard in the video.
Dina brings out the Ellie in Ellie.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm watching the show for Dina. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough.
Who was formerly Dora the Explorer. All right,
yes.
And
so that's us not talking about the next. Yes. So you guys proceed, please.
So I was also at the theater and got to see my indie film of the week. Had to travel a little bit to see it. It was a trailer that caught my eye. Sometimes trailers do good. Mm-hmm. It's called The Ballad of Wallace Island.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. And this is an eccentric lottery winner who lives alone on a remote island, tries to make his fantasies come true by getting his favorite musicians to reunite and perform at his home.
That sounds amazing.
So it is a Irish-British area where a guy, he's just a normal, everyday dude who hit the lottery twice.
Oh wow.
And but there are, there is, for every high there is a low. Sure. And he has basically bought a big chateau on this island, and it's very remote. There's only maybe 10 people on the island, but you only kind of see 3 or 4. And there was this kind of folk singing group of Herb and Nell, which is Carey Mulligan and Tom Baston. And basically that they were big for a certain time, 20 some years ago, split up, went their own ways. And this lottery winner brings them on with the idea of they're going to do a concert on an island. Little do they know, it's a concert for one.
Okay.
It is the epitome of just dry British humor.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh, we're going to take you to the hotel. Here's my house, the hotel. And it's like,
right.
Oh, here's your room. It's been newly renovated. Don't mind the faucet. It just keeps running. And, and just, there's all these little everyday things that can happen. Like, he drops his phone in water. So he's like, "Oh, do you have any rice?" Well, why would I have rice? Do you need sushi, or what do you want something? So they have to travel down, like, walk 5 miles to the little corner store where they have to. Do you have any rice? Well, I have rice pudding, and it's just dry British humor, but
it sounds amazing.
It's so cute. It's so nice. It is the epitome of just the little independent film that you just walk in. I think it's an hour and a half long too, which is also nice.
Sweet spot.
It's a sweet spot. You come out loving life again.
Okay.
You know, where you walk in and you see the better parts of people.
Okay.
And how they interact. And the music is wonderful and light and all of that. And there's a story within the story, of course. But listen, it's just something very, very light, and it'll make you smile.
Okay.
Sounds very pleasant.
Consumable.
Unlike the other thing
Thelma, but not the same story. But
yeah,
I'm down for smiles.
It's not. It is like your Thelma and stuff like this. Only like if everybody were British.
Okay. Down.
So moving on, I saw the first episode. Carly and I actually both saw the first episode of Black Mirror season 7.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Common People, starring
Mm-hmm.
Chris O'Dowd and Rashida Jones. Little known trivia about Rashida Jones.
Okay.
She wrote.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no,
I was going to say she's Quincy Jones' daughter, isn't she?
Well, she is.
I think I know what you're going to say.
And I think I know where you got what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So she wrote a blockbuster hit movie.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
I do not.
I feel like I do know what it is, but I can't think of it. I feel like
Brad,
I've known it before. What is it?
Go ahead.
Toy Story 4.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that then. That is not what I heard.
Now, as you are Quincy Jones's daughter, you might imagine that you have a little bit of wealth around you.
Just a little bit.
So that does kind of allow you to
be more creative with your time.
Pick up flights of fancy
Yeah.
without worrying that you have, no gas in your car.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not denigrating her.
Oh, I love her as an actress.
Yeah, she is absolutely fantastic and a very talented writer to write what she has. But it is kind of like, don't we all want to have like exponential? I'm saying this as just a jealous bitch that I wish I had infinite
a rich
wealth,
father,
wealth to actually
I think it's more
just
to do what you want.
The power that
flights of fancy to, you have your inn, you have your money, and I think that's honestly what the next few generations of Hollywood are going to be, and that's why maybe we'll get stuff that we like because they have the freedom to actually do it. They have the influence, they have the in, and
it's like a whole new generation of nepotism. But this isn't exactly
but not
way
because
not in a bad way.
She is.
Oh yeah, no, she is very talented.
Right,
she's extremely talented.
Like I look at Margaret Qualley, who is a product of nepotism, who is really challenging the boundaries of film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this isn't Brooke Hogan.
No.
Oh,
yes, yes.
Like, I'm sorry, Brooke.
Thank
like,
God.
listen, I'm sure you've
she's
done very
perfectly
well.
Sweet girl.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're an awesome person and such. I don't know. I don't care honestly, but you got where you are because of a certain parental figure, and that's it.
Well, I think what differs her from other people is
Brooke Hogan.
I think not Brooke Hogan. She Jones is she knows when something's not working. So it's one thing to have a father and mother of power. It's another thing to have a father and mother of wealth or a family of wealth. But to have the realization of like to try things and then know, you know what, it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
So like Amy Poehler kind of talks about Rashida Jones as like one of the most inquisitive, like she's willing to try anything and all that. But when it sucks, it sucks. So like, she's like, she wanted to be a fashion designer, but it just didn't really work out. And that she wanted to be a writer. So she was learning and, like she was I think, spent a couple years in Pixar, like just working
Yeah,
low level in Pixar.
She did like an intern thing, and just because she had a fascination with animation, and it was just like, let me try and I'm not going to do music.
Yeah, no.
Smartly.
That's fair. Fair.
Right.
Yeah. So let me try this. And no, I'm a big fan of her. I don't care how she got where she got. I'm glad she's here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on to the episode.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah. Oh.
So it's an hour-long
I've
episode.
heard things.
It's called Common People. We'll look at the IMDb summary. Is when a medical emergency leaves school teacher Amanda fighting for her life. Her desperate husband Mike signs her up for Rivermind, a high-tech system that will keep her alive.
Oh, okay.
But at what cost?
That sounds completely
So,
bored.
That
No
feels
words, no
very
words.
Black Mirror. Like,
Credits.
We're gonna. Do you boys mind a spoiler? Do you mind a spoiler?
no,
I don't mind a spoiler, but I won't take a spoiler.
Yes, no spoilers, only
No
spoilers.
spoilers. That's how I lost my left ear.
So the basic thing is she has a brain tumor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And basically what this company does is it would download all of her, thoughts and brain functions and then transmit it to her like a perfect copy after they remove the tumor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that fair, Carly, to the
I would say it's fair,
plot of it?
But you do need to explain. They spend a good 5, maybe 10 minutes building up just how great this couple is together.
Yes.
I mean, they genuinely love each other. They're like they're just celebrating their 3rd year wedding anniversary. They're,
he's a dock worker. She's a school teacher.
Yeah, she's like a welder. You can tell that they both genuinely love each other, and it's so sweet.
Right.
Okay.
They have enough
So
to
you
keep
want them to fail.
No.
No,
I'm sorry.
don't.
No, I'm sorry. I went another way.
They have enough to keep a roof over their head. They're trying to have a child, and they're saving. They have a baby fund as they're trying to have a child. And
they even have a crib that they've got like an extra bedroom that they've got the crib in, and you notice she's like, maybe we shouldn't have bought this crib, and he's like, no, it's fine. We're hopefully planning for a happy accident when they go to their for their anniversary.
And they do an anniversary at some like weird German what's the celebration, big celebration in Germany? No taste books. Oktoberfest. Yes.
Yeah.
I get that one.
So like it's like an Oktoberfest type of bar weekend type of thing. So she has this illness, and this company approaches her. Oh, you're a perfect candidate for that. And they would be, satellites would be setting up and beaming the information down to her, and it will only cost you.
I was about to ask, what's it?
$300 a month.
$300 a month. And
yep. Surgery is free. Surgery is free. Don't worry about that.
Sure.
You're going to be fine. Okay. We're expanding. We're building satellites. We're building towers. All this stuff. They're talking it all up.
Basically
still $300 a month.
Deal.
Yes, but it is. Do you lose your partner to brain cancer, or to do you let your partner die, or do you do this?
Yeah, they don't. They even tell him that she's probably not even going to. She may not even like come out of her coma or whatever. She may not even wake up. So yeah, he really feels like
he has to make the decision on his own.
Yeah.
So then it's
you would have to.
Well, they agree, and so he starts taking overtime and stuff like that. And there's a couple of side effects where she has to sleep like an extra hour a day just to recharge and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm out.
And as it progresses, he's working harder, and you start to see little chips and little, things back and forth.
No, not even.
No, not resentment.
He's keeping it together, but he is literally tearing himself. He's working himself to death. You are seeing this. He's looking rough.
And then they try and go to their normal anniversary spot, and they drive out of coverage.
Oh.
Just leaving the county that they live in.
No way.
County. Yes. Oh my God.
So she goes, just nothing. Just like basically asleep and cannot react to anything. They come back and they said, well, we're restructuring our satellites, and
Jesus.
this is now part of Rivermind Plus.
Yep. You're on
where Rivermind
for an
normal,
extra.
For an extra, I think it's like $500.
It was
shit.
no, listen, it was an extra I think it was an $800 a month on top of the $300 they were already paying.
Damn.
And then so she starts talking. Wouldn't today be a great day for sun-made iced tea?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What was that?
Implant ads?
She's a teacher, and a kid comes to her, my daddy is not getting along with my mommy. And she suddenly goes, wouldn't you like to talk to a pastor? Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
and
she has no idea that she's running these ads now. It is a freaking nightmare.
And you guys, I don't think there's much further we need to go.
Well, so far,
it just gets worse.
I think this sounds appealing. Is it not?
It's awesome.
Oh, no,
it's depressing as shit.
No, you didn't even get in the part for the dumb dummies. There, it's like a whole. It's basically talking about the whole subscription plan services and how they change it. Not only that,
Chad,
but
Chad, we got to watch this.
Added with the American healthcare system.
In all honesty, you guys, you're watching this, and the reason that this is so depressing is because there is not a minute that goes by that you're like, nah, this could never happen.
Okay, right?
Because it's totally happen.
This is listen, Black Mirror. I mean, let's be honest. The first episode had the Prime Minister banging a pig, so it was a big stretch. Basically, Black Mirror, but you're always like, okay, okay, ha ha ha, evil technology. Sure. It's starting to be where it's catching up to us.
Plausibility.
Where Black Mirror was like, okay, yes, okay, I see. It's a warning for this. Now it's just like, yeah, okay.
I could totally see this happening.
No shit.
It's crazy.
That's fascinating.
I thought for sure you guys were about to be like, this was fucking awful, and I was like,
oh no, no,
like, okay, yeah,
no, you know what, this sounds like the opposite of warfare, in which where tragedy happens and it's gleeful because it's like, my god,
yes,
it's just so real, that's realistic.
And that's the thing is, Black Mirror has always been like the modern day Twilight Zone.
Exactly.
And it's just the closer it gets. Now, I only saw the first episode because I was kind of bummed afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know why they put that as the first episode.
You watched a couple more?
I did.
You can't tell me that didn't hook you.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. It's I believe most of the episodes are about an hour, maybe some at 40 minutes, one at an hour. And I think the USS Callister is an hour and a half.
Oh wow! Okay,
and that's a follow up to a previous one.
Yeah, that's a sequel one.
It is.
My understanding is this season is very star heavy, but they don't overshine the product. Is that fair to say, Carly?
I would say so far it is. I mean, I've only watched a total of 3 episodes. I watched the first 2. I skipped the third one because it was an hour and 15 minutes, and then I watched the fourth one because it was only like 43 minutes.
Okay. I'm an idiot. I did watch the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I did. Right. Well, no, I forgot I saw it until I just pulled it up.
Oh no.
Like, yeah. The second one is a very interesting take on your past and how you treat people, and
yeah, it's basically gaslighting the episode.
Yes.
It's like yeah,
no way.
You'll see when you watch it because I definitely don't want to spoil that one.
That one was fun.
One.
Where it's am I going crazy? Am I not going crazy?
Right. And did you also feel like you had to rewind the episode? Like, wait a minute, did I see that? Like, yep. I didn't. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep watching. But
there's a couple moments where you're just like, they're gonna get him.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Wait, what?
Oh shit.
I was just talking about Black
when
Mirror
you watch it.
And I was talking about it with Chris, and I hate to say this, guys, but the only Black Mirror I've ever seen was that like choose your own adventure one. Like
Oh,
the
yeah,
Oh,
movie.
Bandersnatch.
yeah, Bandersnatch. I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
actually put that in the lower end of
Okay.
Yeah.
of Black Mirror.
The
Mhm.
only
I was so
one-
fascinated by that when it came out. I was like, oh, I have to do this.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I've not seen any other Black Mirror.
So 15,000 credits is really good.
Oh, yeah, that's
Nosedive.
Daniel Kaluuya before he was
Yeah.
before he was
Okay.
Kalula.
I saw the Miley Cyrus episode, and
Yep.
I've not seen that one. I want to see that one though.
That's
the PM
that's basically Megan.
Megan,
Mhm.
Oh,
the
fun.
PM bag and the pig.
You don't need to see that one.
Oh, I
No, I
definitely,
saw it because I thought,
definitely
oh, Black
think
Mirror, that
that's-
sounds cool.
the first episode. It is funny when I'm
Ugh.
telling like 50-year-old women and like 60-year-old ladies, you got to see Black Mirror. It's just like the.
He's been at it for
it's
over
like,
an
like the
hour.
Twilight Zone. It's just,
But not really.
you watch me, guys. Watch a guy sodomize a pig.
He didn't sodomize it. It was come on, don't be rude.
That pig was willing.
Okay, right.
You should have seen how that pig was
That poor
dressed.
pig. Oh,
Oh my
asking
god.
for it.
The
You should
cancel
have
line
seen
is
how
just
that
over
pig
there,
was
everybody.
dressed.
Let's go.
Aw.
I would honestly say the first season is 3 episodes. The first is the national anthem. The second one is 15 Million Merits, which is
Yeah.
it is basically considered one of the best overall. And then the third one is the entire history of you, which is
Oh god, that's another fucking rough one. Jesus, I
Okay.
can't watch that one
with,
again.
Yeah.
like all the emails and the phone calls
It's-
and such.
It's
It's-
the eye
it's
recording
if
everything.
you could record and play back any minute
Mhm.
of your life.
Oh shit.
Yes.
God,
Like-
oh god.
Yeah, like if you had a server that was recording everything from your point of view.
That's a
Okay,
rough
never
one.
mind. Nope.
And then you
Yeah,
could
no.
suddenly
Nope.
go back
Nope.
and forth
Nope.
and how would
Don't want
that
it.
affect?
Don't need that.
And actually, Rashida Jones was a teleplay for one, the Bryce Dallas Howard, where you have to rate everybody.
Nosedive.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
any
Black
other
Mirror, definite recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Sweet. Very cool.
Anything with the later episodes, Carly?
I think I'm gonna wait and talk about that with you
Okay.
guys next week.
Fair.
But yeah, definitely
Well,
we'll be
stay-
talking about it.
Stay tuned for the spin-off Black Mirror podcast
Okay,
where,
right,
we
yeah.
where we dissect
Lord.
episodes. I'm not even joking about that.
Yeah, no,
No.
that sounds amazing. I'm excited for real. So, Mr.
All
Coach, that was
right.
it for you.
That was it for me.
Okay. So, Miss Carly, there is a title that you threw at us earlier that I'm dying to know about.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
And
Okay.
where,
Well,
Title
and where
alone.
did you see it?
oh geez. Okay. Well, I rented it for $5.99
Okay.
on Amazon, and I had heard decent things about it, and I like the name. I like the premise.
Me too. Oh, okay. I don't know the premise, but I can only imagine by the name.
What is the name? Tell us the name, please.
So it's Cannibal Mukbang. Yeah.
Whoa.
So really, really great premise. Just the execution, not so much. But basically, from IMDb, it is an exploration of one's relationships with food, sexuality, and revenge.
Okay.
It asks, how far would you go in the name of love? And I don't know, man. I was really disappointed. Like, I really wanted to
Aw.
like it. And there were some positive aspects about it, of course. Like I said, the premise, really good. Love the name. I just thought some of the writing was a little kind of silly.
Okay.
Some of the parts, I did like the actress that was in it. She kind of seemed like, what is the lady's name? Isabel. It's the one that was in, oh God, she's in Annabelle. And
Cool.
she's the hacker. Not Annabelle, I'm sorry. It was freaking, what is the vampire movie? What am I thinking of here?
Oh,
that's a
oh,
fucking onion.
Yes, that actress. She looks
Oh.
kind of like her, but she's a redhead and she's a little bit thinner.
Abigail.
Abigail. Thank you.
Abigail.
Not Annabelle. Abigail. Thank
Close,
you.
bitch. I mean,
Right?
close.
They both begin with an A. Whatever.
Dracula's daughter, not the
Yeah, right.
creepy, dirty marionette.
Yes, and it's Catherine Newton. So she looks kind of like a skinnier, redheaded version of Catherine Newton.
Okay.
She was a good actress, great in the role, but the writing was a little silly. She's it's basically a cannibal love story. She's the cannibal.
One of those.
Yeah, as one does,
As one
you know.
does.
Yes.
As one does.
And she's like falls for this guy that is a total beta and has got some prior trauma and everything, but I could not get behind his character. He was just too whiny and it was just really rough. I like the special effects that they did in it. They had
she
some
should
good
meet
stuff.
up for that the husband in Dying for Sex.
Yeah, maybe.
Have you seen Bones and All? With
I have not.
Chalamet.
I've heard good things about it, but I haven't seen it.
It's so good. Mm-mm. Oh my god.
Is that like a cannibal movie?
Yeah, it's a cannibal like love story.
It better basically.
Be. And
I liked what's it called a lot better. What was that other cannibal movie that came out with the guy that played the Winter Soldier? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Sebastian Stan?
Yes.
Oh, Fresh?
Yes. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty fresh.
Yeah. That's that clip keeps playing on my Facebook feed.
Well, Fresh was such a hell of a surprise if you went into it not really knowing anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And to see
Are
where
you
it
gonna
ends
kill
up
me?
and shit.
No.
Like,
I'm gonna I haven't seen it, but that this sounds weird now that I know it's about cannibals. I want to watch it.
Yeah, so she's got, and getting back to the movie though, I mean, she's got a good reason for killing and eating these people.
Okay.
But it just, I don't know. It just ultimately didn't work for me. It's not an awful movie, but I was really surprised to see at how high the IMDb rating is on it. Granted, it only has like 3 reviews, but still. Yeah. I would say I definitely wouldn't burn it or anything, but I mean, I think it's worth a rental, especially if you like lower budget B-movie horror, stuff like that.
Okay. I do.
I wanted more. I wanted more, but it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
So can somebody, I'm 49, like, what is mukbang?
It's when you eat a bunch of food in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Basically.
You sit and talk to the camera while you eat.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
No, there's a whole genre on YouTube about it, for real.
I don't get it.
My kid has said, well, we're just doing mukbang videos, and then I walk away.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now
you're eating like a huge
somebody
amount of
better
food.
be helping out with the mortgage.
Yeah, if this is getting likes and pays and such, so yeah.
YouTuber Trisha Paytas, if anyone knows who that is.
I'm a little shameful that I do.
Okay, right. I definitely do too. But she has I wouldn't say popularized it, but she has brought it sort of into slightly the more mainstream for American audiences, I would say. And she's unhinged. She's fucking crazy as hell. But she'll order literally $400 worth of delivery. Oof. Spread it out in front of her and just sit at her coffee table and just eat shit while she just has unhinged rants or talks or any of that kind of shit.
Watching people eat.
I don't like listening to it. I can't listen to it.
Oh, okay. And that terminology, I'm sorry, the terminology mukbang sounds awful.
It sounds like an adult time.
Right.
Is what it sounds like.
I'll just take the banging and no muck,
most
please.
Things, but no. Wait, what'd you say? What'd you say?
I said, I'll take the banging, no muck, please.
Okay. No All right.
No muck.
Not for crying.
Whoa.
Did you have anything else new, Miss Carly?
I did not.
Okay. All right. Oh, so that brings us into the special portion of the episode. I don't know what the fuck to call this, but
it's whatever pops in our brain one week that we think we can share with the world.
Absolutely.
I think the main thing this week was my topic, and it came from I was either on TikTok or some sort of social media, and they were showing the gravestones of people from a couple hundred years ago.
Okay.
And it was basically, how do you sum up a life in less than a sentence? And it was, well, nowadays, the picture's worth 1,000 words. A movie's worth even more than that, you know. And I've even seen a couple of tombstones that have QR codes.
Mhm.
So it was okay as a group. It was, well, if you could put a QR code in a couple movies or a scene or a musician or an album or
Kind of
what
media in general.
what
Yeah.
would describe you in media if you can't describe yourself?
Mhm.
I actually kind of really loved this idea. This was
This was absolutely no holds barred the hardest.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
loved
Oh
it.
my
I loved
God.
it
No
until I
question.
started it, and then I was like, "What? Huh, okay."
It's a lot of okay, what am I? And it is okay, what am I? And
It's
can I
like trying.
reduce myself down to this? Or okay, do I need to go bigger or lower,
Well,
smaller?
it's
Or
like trying to give yourself your own nickname.
Oh,
You know,
God.
you want to be
Rocket?
described
My
by other
God,
nickname is
real.
people,
That's
but
Rocket.
real as fuck. For real.
can you really
No.
describe yourself how you feel without making yourself bigger, smaller, whatever?
Mhm.
But so we're gonna try it right now.
Yeah. And I think Carly brought up something really interesting earlier tonight before we started the show. And she was like, if I put this, do people just think like I'm a horror fan? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess that surface level, like there is a surface level element to it. But
I
I guess
guess
what we're here is to like sort of tell you like our story behind our choices and why we chose this.
right. And I think
And
there's going to be multiple meanings of it. Of like your first level is, well, the people that know me and see this will really know. And
Yeah.
then the people that know me less will know even more. And then the people that don't know me might know me more than I think they know me.
sure. Yeah, I think that's very apt for sure. And mine
Oh,
is probably then
good.
going to be the most confusing of anyone's tonight.
I don't know. Wait until mine.
She said, wait till I.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what everyone thinks.
So, first off, I know that Chad normally is rocking the red with the black Chad. And tonight he's black
Oh, I was
Switching it
just
up.
okay.
with a red Chad. And I mean, this is the kind of thing, like Dave just said, that like if you like really, really know me, you kind of know. And on like another level, it is just sort of a surface level sort of like choice or thing. And I only have two choices tonight, guys. I agonized over this for real. There were so many other things I wanted to put as a third choice, but I feel like the two that I chose tonight like really sum up so much about like who and what I am that I felt this was sufficient. So my
No
first
wrong
choice.
answers. No wrong
Yeah,
answers.
no wrong answers for real.
Ooh.
And somewhere between here and here, yes, we have photos of young Chad on here. If you follow us
Wow.
on Twitter or follow me on Twitter, you might have seen one of these photos last night because, bitch, I was part of the motherfucking fashion team, clearly, in this bottom right corner. And it was like literally somewhere between like these two photos. I'm not sure where the bottom right was taken, but the first one was like kindergarten or maybe first grade. But see, I grew up with a brother and sister that were much older than me. I was the baby of the family by a really large margin. And my brother and sister, who were much older, liked horror films. And that kind of brought that into my life by proxy. And I remember when this came to HBO, A Nightmare on Elm Street. This movie absolutely ruined me as a child. It informed so much of who I am today as far as like what I'm interested in, like loving horror as much as I do and loving to be uncomfortable and like kind of like chasing the dragon in a sense for this like feeling of like being scared and terror that has not really ever quite been duplicated since feeling this. I've had movies that do scare me for sure, but this like birthed me wanting to like feel fear. I know that sounds crazy, but that's really what it did for me. Like I know I'm in like a small corner right now, but I almost added this onto the photo too. Like I have a scar on my finger here, guys. And when I was little, I had seen this movie. It had ruined me for a while at this point. And I went with my mother to my grandmother's house, and we were picking up a casserole dish that my grandmother had used, and we were bringing it home. So I was tasked at this time with carrying this casserole dish into the house that was empty. It was wintertime, and clearly, because I'm on fashion team, as we can all see by the photo, I had on cowboy boots, and
Hell yeah.
I was positive as I got out of the car with this dish that Freddy Krueger was behind a bush on the side of my house, and I was positive of it. I was like certain. I'm still certain, actually, if you want to be real about it. So I took off running in my cowboy boots, dish in hand.
Did you boot Scoot and Buggy?
Oh, bitch. She boot Scoot and Boogie for real. And I took off running toward the house. I, of course, slipped with this dish in my hand, and I ended up having to have like 8 stitches in my finger. I'll have this scar for the rest of my life. But I kind of love it because it does inform so much of who I am. Like, this film is so important to me, and this is not my favorite horror series. This is not my favorite horror film, I wouldn't even say. But it is important to me and who I am and like kind of what I become. And yeah, A Nightmare on Elm Street, man. Wes Craven.
Well,
what a fucking treat.
That makes it. I'm going to assume you have a story similar to many people that their imagination runs away with them. So
it did then, for sure.
To display such emotion truly makes us A Nightmare on Elm Street a classic.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And I'd never seen anything like it. Like, I don't even know if I really had even like dipped my toe into horror much in a sense, like at this point. But my sister, I remember her specifically being very excited about this when it came out. And I would say she is about 9 years older than I am. So, I mean, she was kind of in a prime time for this in her life. I like I said, like first or second grade, 7, 8 years old, something like that.
Gotcha.
And her like teens, early teens. And like, this was an event when it came to HBO. And I remember watching it, just never feeling the terror that I felt during this. And then I became obsessed with it. And I taped it on VHS like back in the day and watched it and watched it and watched it. And yeah, I always wanted to recapture that like feeling. Because I'm a masochist, maybe? I don't know. Like, is that makes me like...
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
And yeah, I'm forever searching for something that will actually scare me. And I've had a couple things like truly scare me as an adult, but never like this, to where it was like a couple months of genuine true fear. So I have one other choice, guys. This is a music choice. I've talked about it on this podcast before, and I love music. If I had to pick between movies and music, which is more important to me, I could not make that choice because I love both so much. They're both just so wildly important in different ways, in some similar ways, but also in different ways. And when I told Chris this was one of my choices, it was like, yeah, duh. Of course it is. And this is the album Preacher's Daughter by artist Ethel Cain.
We've talked about this in previous way back in the day. I was expecting this.
And yeah, I was too. And I actually listened to the whole thing because of you.
As did I, and I'm very happy about this.
This entire project is, God, I can't say enough superlatives about it. Like, it's brilliant musicianship. It's brilliant music. It's so deeply fucking insanely sad. It's like a concept album, a very loose concept album about a woman who meets the wrong men, makes the wrong choices, and ultimately ends up getting murdered and cannibalized by a man. And again, this is loose, but this is one of the most haunting, beautiful, heartbreaking, tragic albums I've ever listened to. I would say the genre here falls into sort of slowcore. And if you don't know what that is, it is music that is purposely insanely slow. But because of how slow it is, it's so powerful that when it hits, when it hits, it absolutely hits, and it's like full body chills hits. But it's the kind of thing you have to be into, you have to be there for. And yeah, this is just almost everyone that I've recommended this to has liked it, because again, it's so powerful. The standout track here, they're all a standout, but A House in Nebraska is one of, every single time I hear the song, no matter what is happening, and I've played it, I am going to cry to this song. And I put a couple of like lyric things up on here.
Yeah, I'll read those.
Yeah, and I was going to read them really quickly for everyone.
Do it.
So the bottom left corner is, your mama calls me sometimes to see if I'm doing well, and I lie to her and say that I'm doing fine, when really I'd kill myself to hold you one more time, and it hurts to miss you. And this album came into my life at a point when I had lost a partner that I was absolutely, madly, crazy, insanely in love with. And this song doesn't necessarily pertain to that, but this song hits for me so hard because of that I'll always, always, always associate it with that.
Mm-hmm.
The other lyric, guys. And I spend my life watching it go by from the sidelines. And God, I've tried. But I think it's about time I put up a fight. And especially after losing Rick, my late partner. I really felt this. And I was doing that, and I think still at times do that, where I sit and watch my life go by, and I'm not doing anything about it because I'm paralyzed by sort of a fear and a lack of like decision and all of that. And like this album, like it's powerful, man. Like, I think kind of no matter what genre of music you're into, it's got this sort of like rock, droney, like powerful, like rock anthem at moments thing to
Sucks
it.
you in. It sucks you in.
It's incredible. Like it's truly brilliant, and she's brilliant. Like I cannot get enough of this. If you have not heard this album, my recommendation is to put it on, let it play from first track to last, but only at a time when you're willing to lose yourself in it. And I think it would be hard to not get lost in this, because it's incredible, man. Like, Ethel Cain, my bitch. I love her so much. And this is like, Carly, this is what I was talking about with you. She's going to be in Atlanta in August, and that's who I want to see so bad. It's sadly looking maybe like that's not going to be a thing.
Oh,
but
no.
No, we got to make this happen now.
Yes.
Yes, I would love to. Oh my God. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so emotional, guys.
Oh, no.
It's gonna be okay.
This is what this is for. This is what this is for. Fuck you, Dave.
But yeah, Preacher's Daughter, Ethel Cain. Amazing. And everybody knows The Nightmare on Elm Street, but Preacher's Daughter, if you could take one thing away from this episode, give that album a try.
Hell yeah.
So
it's
good.
heavy. It's so good.
All right. And then, oh God, fuck. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Hey,
All
listen,
right.
at least
Don't
you
be
went
sorry.
first.
Yeah, God, maybe that was
we're
a
doing.
bad thing. Fuck, holy
No.
shit. So next we have Mr.
Sure.
Okay, right. God, I'm sorry. I really got lost in that.
That's okay.
It's Brad, right?
You're good.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's Brad.
Yeah. Pick whoever.
Fuck. Sorry, man.
Relax. It's all good.
Well, there's the icebreaker.
Crest
Yeah.
to Life I life willed.
Thank God for the misspellings.
You are double fisting into the grave.
Yes, I am double fisting into the grave. I don't know who put the happy face over the Canadian flag, but
I haven't double fisted since Pride '96.
I do like that there seems to be a lot of Amish people holding pill bottles around me, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this is exactly how my funeral will look. Me in a turquoise box over a wooden plank.
Fair enough.
I don't know how I'm going to descend into the ground.
All right,
But
ready for the next one.
I have 3 properties. So
Okay.
yes, if we can
All right.
move on to the first.
The first.
Now, this is a movie that
It's so
hit me
great
at a point for a couple reasons, and that is 2006 Daniel Craig's Casino Royale, James Bond. And yes, it was a fun action movie. Yes, it had great music, and it had fantastic action and just almost film noir. But one thing that really stuck out for me about me is here's a guy who has a job to do. He's not sure if he's okay for the job. He's not sure if he's right for the job. But he was given the job and he's doing it. And ultimately, he doesn't succeed. If you watch the movie, it is a lot of cool action, a lot of cool scenes. You know, you have Mads Mikkelsen. You have just, oh my God. This is one of my high five favorite movies. But one thing that made it so clear is a guy that was just trying to please everybody, and he didn't succeed, but it still worked out. And that's kind of how I've always felt. Whether I succeed or whether I don't, it's always going to work out.
Sure.
Good, bad, or ugly. But I'm never going to stop trying. And no, I do not have that body.
I think you might.
Oh, actually. Come on.
No, geez.
You're too kind to yourself.
God. I'm looking at Daniel Craig in the scene in which where he was being tortured, and I'm like, nope, never gonna happen. Good.
Yeah, at least you don't have his face. I'm sorry. I don't. Daniel Craig is
the face. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just not for me.
But yeah, the theme was more or less you're doing something and it might not work out, but it will work out.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to try.
Yeah.
And I have not been bound to a chair and had my testicles beaten, but
since last weekend.
This week.
It was last Tuesday.
I
like that we had the same joke.
I was about to say, Jesus Christ, what do I talk about off camera? But yeah. And no, I don't drink martinis either. Yeah, this is one of my favorite films, and it really hit me at the right time to just, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. You just keep fucking going.
Real. I feel that. And I love this one. I'm not a big James Bond guy, I have to admit, but this, for me, and this is a handful of James Bond that I've seen, is my absolute very top, no questions asked.
Yeah. And if you look at all the pictures I've chosen, he looks surely unsure of himself.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Big Sam.
So,
all right. Next one, please. Sir.
Yes.
All right.
Shrinking.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I know Brad's a big fan.
This has been one of my favorite absolute shows, and it also kind of hit very well in the fact that you have a single father trying to do his best maybe not succeeding, but succeeding because of the people he surrounds himself with. Because eventually you realize it takes a village, not just to raise a child, but a village to survive. And you surround yourself with people that challenge you, that annoy you, but you still love them.
Sure.
And you know they love you because, Jesus Christ, they keep coming back.
Yeah, they're still in your life, man. Like,
You know, if you annoyed them so truly that much, you would be completely desolate and alone. So you have the strong father figure of Harrison Ford, who honestly reminds me of my father with being so callous, cold, and truthful that you were aggravated and so bemused by him.
Sure.
Just because of the underlying charm. But I think it is the cast of characters that reminds me of me, because you have every walk of life. You have gay, you have straight, you have persons of color, you have white, you have rich, you have poor. And I'm every one of those things. No, I'm kidding. I've not attempted to surround myself with anybody, but it's just how everybody has come around me that I could see every picture
Sure.
of these people in my life, and it's enriched my life.
Well, it's like comforting way, right? Like,
it completely is, knowing that I'm learning so much from people that aren't like me.
sure.
It would be so easy to surround myself with people like me, but like, sorry, I'm with me every day.
Yeah.
I want to know other people, men, women, children of every sort. And that's why this just kind of really hit. The writing is fun. It's schmarmy. It is basically science fiction because nobody talks like that. But it's fun to absorb. And that's just kind of how I feel in my life, that I'm lucky enough to absorb all these diverse people within my life.
Good choice, man.
So Brad,
Yes.
what I thought was pretty funny is that I know I was having a hard time picking my choices. So I asked the group, could you give me some examples? And Brad was so gracious to provide me with his choices. And as soon as this one popped up, I literally used the same phrase to my husband. I said, I bet he picked this one because it takes a village.
Yeah.
And I've only watched like 2 episodes of the show, and like I got that from it. So I thought that was interesting.
I love it.
Yeah. It's, you know what? I had an ex-roommate when my daughter was struggling between living with her mother and visiting me. I confided him, and I said, I don't know if I have what it takes to raise her by myself if she was to move in with me. And he looked at me and he says, you're not by yourself.
Right? Real.
It takes a fucking village.
Yeah.
He's like, so what the fuck are you worried about, dude? And that it kind of laid in straight with that. So
yeah.
Thank you, Miles.
Yeah, that's so real though. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we can move on. And my next one is a song.
Okay.
And that is a Beatles song with a little help from my friends. So I don't know if you guys can pick up a theme that I'm somewhat reliant on my friends.
That's good. I think we all should be.
Growing up, my family, we had a family business. And so we stopped being a family and became coworkers very early. So my friends were my outlet, my family, because anytime I had anything to talk about, I couldn't talk to my family about it because it turned into business and the bottom line. So it really just kind of rolled in that my friends became everything to me. And stages of friends have come and gone. I have my childhood friends, I have my adolescent friends, my mature friends, and my current friends. And every one of them is different, not more special or less special or anything like that, but they all lay into a part of me to my development.
They play their part, man, for sure.
And I remember I listened to this song sung by that Leo Moricelli, the metal artist that I enjoy. So he takes every song and just makes it heavy metal. And listening to him sing this song, it just hit. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? And the ones that would, I know they'd come back. Lend me your ears, I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. I can't sing in key, so good luck with that. And I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I'm going to try with a little help from my friends.
Very real.
And that's what keeps me going. And not to sound too cheesy, you three fall solely in this category.
Agreed,
and make me want 100%. To try and make me want to be silly and be stupid and not worry. Because if one thing that you guys have taught me as my friends, I have so little to lose by just being me.
Yeah, for real. I agree.
So this is probably the apex that, yes, with a little help from my friends, I can do anything.
Agreed.
Right on.
Hell yeah, dude. We always got you, homie. Hell yeah.
I know you do. I do. Thank you so much.
All right. And Mr. Coach. Oh, the pressure's on, Coach. Fuck.
All right.
I'm glad I'm going last.
And I'm glad I'm not going last.
Here lies Coach.
Oh, Jesus.
And the QR code works, guys, so scan it.
See where it takes you.
Exactly.
Was this
scan at your own risk.
I hope not.
It won't take you far.
Okay.
All right. So I have 4, but we'll see how quickly I can run through them.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No need to be quick. No need to be quick. Yeah.
Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks.
Okay. I've never seen this guy.
I haven't either.
So Albert Brooks wrote, directed. This is basically him and Meryl Streep. They both die in their middle age. And the way that heaven works in Meryl Streep's, but Albert Brooks's head is you need to defend the choices that you make, and you have lawyers and a judge, and it's extremely funny. It hits home, but Albert Brooks paints himself as a man that is often, makes questionable decisions, and his motivations aren't always the most strong. And I would say that I did live a part of my life like this, where I would overthink, I would overanalyze.
That's me.
And basically like make a decision that wasn't truly a decision, that I outthought myself.
Sure.
And this really hit home to me, as it shows the growth of the character as well as the growth that I experienced over my 40 some late 40 some years on
Throwing
this
that late bitch
on
like...
this blue little dot. And just basically like the inner confidence and the standing up for what you believe in and that type of stuff instead of just always rolling with the punches.
Oh, I would probably relate way too much to this movie for real.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I feel like I would too.
No, I could totally. Part of me knew you were going to pick this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I think it's Albert Brooks' best, and a lot of his stuff it just hasn't carried over to this next generation. But I mean, all the stuff he wrote, directed, and acted in is really timeless.
Ahead of its time, like timeless, but ahead of its time, and it was. It's
kind of what we were saying about Black Mirror of like, oh man, it's coming true. A lot of the Albert Brooksisms.
Oh my god,
kind of came true.
100% did.
All right, we can go on to the next one.
Next one.
So,
okay,
Charlie Chaplin in Modern Times.
Modern Times.
So, for those that aren't seeing this on YouTube, it is the infamous scene of Charlie Chaplin working in the factory as he goes through the machine and through the gears, and it just kind of chews him up. But the bigger story of Modern Times is how he goes through various companies and places he's working at, and it's just never quite the right fit. And, it's one of those, as you grow older, you have these jobs and you have these careers and you have these choices that you make. And it just sometimes never feels like it fits. It's just something that's off. And whether it was, when I was working in a cosmetic plant or had my video stores or anything, something, it never, just one thing always kind of just didn't sit right.
Sure.
So,
the gears didn't
That's
match.
so real, dude.
Yeah.
God.
Yet you see him working as hard as he can and as making the best of every situation.
Right.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah. I wish I could say the same.
Next.
Okay.
So this scene, all right, so this is a still of Schindler's List, and it's the scene at the end of the movie, and it is Liam Neeson, and it is the as Oscar Schindler is leaving, and he breaks down of, I could have done more. This ring would have bought one life. This car would have bought 20 lives. And when I coach, I do a lot of stuff with movies and film, where we will have film night. And I started with this clip, but I actually turned it into kids, guys, you got to see the entire movie to really understand that. And it kind of, the seasons kind of culminate with, hey, we're starting to come to the end, and I don't want you guys to have that Schindler moment. I don't want you to have that, I could have done more, because ultimately, time is finite and you only get so much. So like, this is your opportunity. So it's one of those that's always in the back of my head is, I could have done more. And I don't necessarily see it as a negative. It's the idea that, you still have humanity if you always believe that you can do more.
Sure.
And that it's been kind of something that it's a scene that plays over and over in my head of just like, okay, I can do more. I can do more, but not for me, for others.
Sure. Very nice, man. I like that.
All right. And the last one. It is the character Wile E. Coyote.
Super genius.
Super genius. I have identified with Mr. E. Coyote my entire life of I can plan it. I can stage it. I can walk through it. I can troubleshoot it 1,000,000 times. But you know what? Sometimes shit just happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes the cliff falls on you. It's just
No matter
the
what
way
you
it
do,
is.
no matter what you do, something can blow up.
Absolutely. TNT can blow up in your face no matter how far away it is from you.
Well, I heard actually, when I see this picture, I think of a quote that I heard on a podcast, and it is, no matter how much you plan, it doesn't change the future. No matter how much you worry, it doesn't change the past.
Right. Love it.
So be grateful for the present because it's a gift.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I could use being
you
more
can
grateful.
say those words 1,000,000 times, but yes, guess what? We're always going to worry.
Sure.
We're always going to have anxiety about the past. We're always going to have bias about the future and stuff. But if you can just sit back, chill out, and really root for the fucking coyote to kill that goddamn roadrunner, one day he'll get that fucking roadrunner. I hate the roadrunner so much.
It's one of those things of like, even though you fail and you plan and you plan and you fail and you plan, just get up, do it again.
Yep.
Eventually you'll catch them. I mean,
Doesn't stop you.
Eventually. But
did anybody really root for the roadrunner?
No.
I always wanted him to eat. Oh, the Roadrunner? No.
Nobody rooted for
No.
the
Okay,
roadrunner.
Wile E. Coyote
said
just
no.
needs to eat. He
Right.
just wants
Okay,
to eat
Tom and
something.
Jerry.
He's hungry.
Tom and Jerry. Did anybody really like Jerry?
Yeah, I kind of like Jerry.
Fuck Jerry.
I don't like any of them.
Jerry was pretty smart.
that was
man.
harsh.
Like-
Tom was a dick.
Tom was a dick,
True.
but he had a job to do. He had a bottom line, and Jerry just fucked his shit up.
All right. That was the last.
Good choices, sir, man.
So
That
Please
was
feel
good.
free to scan the QR code.
So
Yeah,
good.
do it.
I am going to.
Oh, God.
And this brings
I'm
us
so
to the
glad
portion
I
of the
don't
show.
have to go last.
Well, it brings me to the portion of the show that I'm most excited about, and that is
Please temper
this
those.
bitch. Yes.
Temper those expectations, please.
Well,
Nope.
no, I'm excited about this splash screen. Like
So
every
much
time.
splash screen.
Oh,
Love
that
it so
looks
much.
different than I saved it. That's interesting. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well, I guess we'll
ChatGPT.
see what my third choice is and how it turned out.
She said unenthusiastically.
I will say, like I said, I way overthought this.
Me too.
Everybody's going to be extremely disappointed in what I have
No,
to say
I don't
about
don't be
so.
silly. Come on.
Not
What do you got?
Let's just go ahead and get it over with. Let's just do
All right.
it.
First slide, guys.
Tales from the Crypt,
Well,
the television series.
It feels like a formative experience, man. I think.
It was for me, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't have cable TV growing up. Probably didn't. I had 4 or 5 channels at the most until I was maybe 16 or 17. So
Okay.
really the extent of my HBO experience was going over to my aunt and uncle's house when my parents would play spades
Okay.
or just
Big
hang out
satellite
in
dish.
general. Yes, they had the huge satellite dish.
Yep.
But yeah, Tales from the Crypt. As you can see, I have a picture here. I actually went to a wax museum in Gatlinburg a couple of years ago.
so good.
And and they did have that. I loved getting that picture with the Crypt Keeper. But yeah, it was a great show. I would say if someone were to scan this, they would probably think that I really like horror movies.
Yeah.
This probably was my first introduction into more of the adult type horror.
Okay.
Because before Tales from the Crypt actually came out on HBO, I think we had maybe Tales from the Dark Side, Monsters. All of that stuff was more so on regular TV, so you couldn't really show the type of stuff that they were showing on Tales from the Crypt. Obviously, I was terrified of the Crypt Keeper for the longest time. I would have to basically just not look at the screen when they would do when he would pop up and, laugh or whatever. I just couldn't see that for whatever reason. It just creeped me out.
Though.
Yeah.
This
He's
makes
so
me
great with his puns too.
Almost for my third choice. I mean, not exactly Tales from the Crypt, but very HBO coded, is that I almost chose Real Sex.
Oh, that was another good one.
Yeah. See, I had like cable and like TV in my room, like when I probably shouldn't have, like unattended.
Lucky.
And that's the kind of shit that sort of formed things that maybe it shouldn't have. I don't know. Like, I guess I'm okay now, but
I went and seen Bordello of Blood in the movie theater because I was obsessed with vampires during my vampire stage, and God, it was a bad movie, but God, I had so much fun.
Oh yeah,
that's what matters.
It was so much fun. Yeah.
And Corey Feldman and Dennis Miller and
Angie Everhart.
Yes. Vegetarian. And we lost Dave?
Yeah, he must have had to drop out.
He's
like, I don't want to listen anymore about this Tales.
I don't think that was it.
It's like, damn, dude. No. But yeah, no, I just really love this show. I think it was kind of my whole gateway into the whole horror genre. And I, of course, was watching this at an age of way too young to be watching it for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And it's even better, kind of.
Yes. I completely skipped over Are You Afraid of the Dark and went straight to Tales from the Crypt.
We have Dave back.
Yes.
Back.
So. That's not a mute button.
That's not the mute
button. Okay, right.
But yeah, no, Tales from the Crypt was so great. And it even spawned, I mean, obviously, I didn't put a picture of this, but it did actually spawn I think like a cartoon or two. But then, of course, we have Demon Knight, which is my favorite. I love that movie so much.
Billy Zane.
Yes. One of his best performances ever.
So good.
William Sadler. So awesome.
Gonna watch that later.
And then, of course, like you said, the lesser known, lesser loved Bordello of Blood, but that was still a good one too.
Had like nobody in it. Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready for your next one?
I am.
House of Vampires. Come on.
All right.
Yes.
Carly, slide 2.
All right. Resident Evil 2. Okay. It's a game.
Hell yeah. I almost chose a game too. I almost chose Dead Space.
I did almost as well.
So obviously I remember when Resident Evil, the first one, came out. I think I had to have been a freshman, I think, or at least when everybody was playing it, I was a freshman. And then of course Resident Evil 2 came out, and oh man, that was just a game changer for me. Like before then I had been just playing, Super Mario Brothers, Sonic the Hedgehog, all of those types of games. This was the first foray into like a horror type game, and I was completely hooked as soon as I played it.
Yeah. There's like tank controls and like stop to shoot and like all that. Yeah.
The terrible camera angles, all of that fun stuff.
I loved the bad camera angles because you had to run around and figure out, okay, this is how I can actually kill this slow moving zombie. And even though the zombies were slow as hell,
that shit was scary.
Feeling them creep up on you was the worst. As your guy like reloaded his shotgun, you're like, come on, man, hurry up. You don't need all 6 shells. Just put one shell in there and shoot this prick. Yeah.
Have you played the remake, Carly?
I have, and it's really good. I like the changes that they did. They didn't, they made enough
they probably
changes.
Just modernized it.
They did,
but they did change some of the things that you do, so it doesn't feel like you're. Because I played Resident Evil 2, the original version, I don't know, maybe 5 times total.
Oh wow, okay.
At least, like with A and B, Claire and Leon, both times. So
better?
Oh, I mean, I'm a girl, so I had to play as Claire.
Okay. Claire was awesome. Claire was the best.
Fair. Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, no, I love the remake. The remake, they did great for that one. I did not play the third one, although the reviews that I heard about it made it really seem like it wasn't worth playing. But
It's
I don't
good.
know.
I'm still playing it.
I heard it's very short, though. Really? You're still playing it?
I can't get out of the goddamn
Okay,
warehouse. I'm like,
okay. That's fair. That's fair. I was about to say it might be just
There is
might
always
just be
a
me.
puzzle
Yeah.
element,
Okay.
guys.
That's fine. Yes. No. I
No,
understand.
it happens. No, I get it. Listen, I was big into Silent Hill, and one of the games, I think it was like Silent Hill 5, I got to a part and I was like, oh fuck it, I can't get any further. I just quit.
Fair.
Oh no.
I don't blame you.
I'm assuming any character I ever like played with is being murdered right now. That's fine.
Oh
Good.
yeah.
Good. Off to Just Cause Part 4.
There you go. And I guess I'm ready for my last one.
All right. Last one, man. Here we go.
Braveheart.
Okay.
All right. Well, fun fact, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am actually related to the villain of Braveheart.
Oh, holy shit, bitch.
Yeah.
Which one?
Longshanks.
Oh.
Longshanks. Yeah. Apparently I'm related to him. So
Okay.
yeah, that was very
That feels
surprising.
right. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
It's like,
Well,
That was
at
horrible.
least we
I'm
know
just
not
kidding.
from the son's lineage.
oh, yeah, exactly. It is from the daughters. It is from the daughters. It's from one of his daughters. That's funny that you say that. But yeah, I was like, holy shit. But yeah, Braveheart, it was one of those movies. Again, I had a small TV with the built-in VCR. I had Braveheart on VHS. I would come home from school like when it came out, and I would just watch it almost every single day that I would come home from school. And
At the time, did you know about the lineage?
no. This
Oh,
was
okay.
the
Oh,
lineage
that's
thing
so
was like
cool.
something that I just learned a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Because one of my cousins did the whole,
You did
what's it called?
23andMe and
Yes, or the
they just
ancestry.com. Yes. They're like, hey, I don't know if you
It's
know
all
this, but
to it. I
yeah,
think
they're
that's
like, we're
fascinating.
related to Longshanks. And I'm like, fuck, really? What?
You do
It's like,
23andMe and you get a link that says rent Braveheart.
All right.
Sorry, that's out of a Black Mirror episode.
Aw. But yeah, no,
That works.
I picked Braveheart because it was informative for me in my early teenage years. Watched it all the time. Had a great message of freedom. I'm very big free speech. I'm like
We pro
free
freedom.
speech absolutist or whatever.
too.
So I'm all for say whatever you want to say. Obviously, people might not like that, but
If
whatever.
you don't like it, don't listen.
Yeah,
That's
please.
how I feel. Yeah.
But yeah, and I had the hugest crush on Stephen from Ireland.
Oh, it's the island. It's
my
mine.
island. It's my island.
Coach Stephen from Ireland. It moved.
Dude, oh,
Dave.
Stephen was just, he was the best part of that movie.
Right? It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that he didn't die. But yeah, I joked around about this with my husband because, again, I said that this was I overthought this topic, had a very hard time thinking of anything. He wanted me to just link my Twitter, but I was like, that's not.
Honestly, that would have been really kind of brilliant in a way. Like,
Pretty badass.
Yeah, I would say, though,
revisit that in the future.
Anybody that actually does want to know me, it's pretty accurate. My representation of myself on Twitter. Even my husband says so. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to agree, man. Like I've always said so many times, I don't know how to be anyone other than myself, and that includes Twitter, man. Like I am very much me on that platform, for better or worse. And
for better.
Yeah,
yes.
I would like to think for better, man.
Much for better. Come on.
I try to be all right most of the
time. You're great. And that's it. That's all of mine.
That was so good, dude. Like, yeah. This was
tough.
Probably the deepest episode I think we've done. Like, because
heavy.
We're trying to say, I think, like a little bit more about ourselves than we normally would. So this was smart and good. Coach, great choice, dude. That was
a very good choice. Don't ever pick anything like that ever again.
Yeah. Well, this was the hardest one.
Now that we left that,
that was tough.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
God, right?
Oh yeah, right.
Wow.
So, what's on everybody's radar for the week coming up?
Sinners.
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 So I suggest anybody going to see Sinners, look up the painting, The Sugar Shack.
Okay.
Mm.
Will.
Why?
For sure.
It is it's almost the basis of the movie. It's kind of
Really?
like, yeah, it's one of the things that Coogler has been talking about. He's been on a great press tour talking about like
He
how
really
film
has,
is everything is filmed in the different styles, and I mean, like, he is a modern day auteur. So
He's
I'm
fantastic.
gonna risk it on this one. I know it's might be a little more jump scary than I'm used to.
Probably.
You gonna do it?
I have a feeling though
I'm gonna
that
do
this
it.
probably is going to work okay for you. Like, I don't think he's going for like the normal horror tropes. I don't think it doesn't seem like
What's the one where Tarantino, Clooney, and Selma Hayek?
Out of
Oh.
sight.
Dust Till Dawn.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dust Till
I was
Dawn,
about to
yeah.
say, wait a minute.
I'm thinking this is going to be.
You're right.
Well, minus the what's it called, the Quentin
Yeah,
Tarantino part.
yeah. I think this is going to be very Dust Till Dawn, only like very, very polished and trying to say something.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be a vampire. I think there's more to say in this movie.
I
There's
agree.
twins. There's going to be social commentary and such, but not so heavy-handed because
Yeah.
Right.
he is so good at
Well,
what he does.
yeah. It's
And
the
you know what?
idea that, can a musician bring out the good and the bad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Yeah,
can.
this seems super promising, man. I'm so excited for this.
And,
And
you know,
like the one thing, there's so much happening this weekend, but
Yep.
like I want to try so badly to try and go
I
see
will
this.
I will do my best to make it out there. But you know what? We're talking about jump scares. I've never experienced a jump scare other than Warfare. That was my biggest jump scare.
Let me send you a video.
I was gonna say that's the thing. Like most horror movies would like love to be able
I like
to
that.
recreate or like have happen to the audience.
No, it was like I hate to keep touting it and stuff like that, but it was just such a lull and just
I always
yeah,
think
it's
of
good,
the things
we're
that
good, you know, do
we
your
passed
thing,
around
do
at college of like, oh, it's a Windows screen. Oh, it's just a it's just a field, and then like, "Rah!"
Well, no, this was yeah. Oh God, like my popcorn went in the air, my drink spilt, and like it was just
and you weren't even at
embarrassing.
the Minecraft movie.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
no
Oh my
kidding.
god, holy
Did you make
shit.
it out to see the Minecraft? ridiculousness?
I went to see the independent British Irish movie instead.
Good.
Oh, my son and daughter
Honestly-
watched it.
Okay.
And
My son loved it. My daughter
about
thought
to
it
say,
was boring.
How far did his popcorn get thrown?
Oh God, my son loved it. He said, "We have to watch it. You guys have to go see it."
I mean, I would watch it. I can't lie. And like, I would go into it with an open mind, but
Mm-hmm.
And a full
It
bucket
just-
of popcorn.
with the
Mhm.
other shit that's like
with a lid
up
on it.
against it, I'm more into that
Right.
personally. So
Yeah, I'd
That's a
rather go
tough
see
one.
Sinners than Minecraft.
yeah. Okay, right there it is. Next week's episode: Sinners and Minecraft, guys.
Why not both? All right.
Okay, right.
Why
not? Does anyone else have anything they want to say before we get the fuck out of here?
Like, subscribe, and comment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that.
Like, subscribe,
Please.
comment,
And go see
Thank
Warfare,
you.
guys, for real.
Thank you very much. And sorry for the no Twitter comments, but we'll
It
lay
was
something
kind of a
out.
weird thing to put on Twitter.
Yeah.
I was like,
Facts.
I don't know if that's gonna work this week. So.
Facts.
Now, when I say sorry, Canadians aren't really that
Sorry.
No, it's just
It's just a
sorry.
comma.
It's just what we say. It's actually what other people say about us. So
Aw.
sorry.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank you so much for coming back and listening to us and being emotional and all that bullshit. But anyway, good night, guys. We'll see you
Good
next
night.
week.
I really
Bye.
do get by with a little help from my friends.
Same.
Yes.
Thank you.
Big Sam, for real.
Night, everybody.
Have a good night.